How does Islam view the use of sex toys between spouses?
Didn't we talk about this?
No.
We talked about
We talked about BDSM.
Yeah, we talked about BDSM. Look, we're gonna have to ask a mufti for a fatwa.
Well, I mean, I have some contradictory answers here for you.
Really?
Do you want to see? Yeah.
I don't want to ask ChatGPT.
Do you want to see? No. I have actual websites.
I think last week we screwed up our episode. We did too much ChatGPT. I think people don't want it from ChatGPT. People want our views on it. So
yeah, okay. Well, we could do that. Here. So we could actually, before we answer this question, I will tell you. Okay, I assume that there's no problem. Okay, because my view is that if Islam doesn't specifically have something in it that says you can't do it, then I can get away with it, right? So I think sex toys will be wrong if you're using them to masturbate, because masturbation is wrong in Islam. But so if you're using like a dildo, okay, by yourself, that'd be wrong Islamically. But if the same dildo is being used by your husband, for example, on you within marriage, then I think like that would be fine. Islamically, that would be fine, right? So that's my assumption always. Like if you don't have something specific in Islam that says like no, then Harris, last time I checked, there's no mention of dildos in the Quran or the Hadith. Is there?
No, there isn't. But well, not that I know of. But dildos do predate Islam. But generally, that's not entirely how Islam works. We know there's a process of ijtihad. For example, there's no mention of smoking either, but it is unanimously agreed upon that it is makruh and it is not encouraged, and you should refrain from it. So there are a lot of things that have not directly been answered by the Quran or the Hadith or by the four ayyamas. Ayyamas that they call them, imams, the plural of imams, like Maliki and Hanbali and Shafi and Hanafi. So the process of ijtihad keeps on going. So, for example, you can't take anything out of the Quran or the Hadith or even the four iyamas, the four traditional schools of thoughts, what to do, whether you should do speeding or not. But the Saudi cleric actually issued a fatwa that if you die while speeding, then that would be, in the eyes of Islam, that would be considered a khudkushi, like self. By the way, if you are feeling anything, please, we do not encourage that. You need to speak with someone if you are feeling low. But in the eyes of Islam, if you die speeding or doing some other risky activities, then it would be considered as sinful as being as suicide. So these are new fatwas, and that they achieve or they arrive at these conclusions through the process called ijtihad. So I have a feeling, as sexually regressive Islam is, I would think, I don't know what Armin is about to show you, I would think that this would be looked down upon, or some muftis might have even called it haram. So what do you got, Armin?
Well, I have two contradictory websites. One of them says employing sex toys during intercourse. In the name of Allah. Okay, no, there is a question. Question: is it permissible to use external clitoral vibrator on one's wife during intercourse?
On one's wife. So you're doing it someone else's wife. No, it could be your own wife too.
No, your own wife. Okay. So, answer: in the name of Allah, most compassionate, most merciful. Sexual relations between the spouses are vital and one of the most important aspects of marriage. It purifies and prevents one from falling into fornication and unlawful. As such, the spouses may fulfill their sexual needs in any way they desire, as long as it does not violate any injunction of Sharia. Okay, so far so good. Islam also generally abstained from placing too many restrictions with regards to bedroom behavior. Rather, with the exception of certain harmful and unhealthy practices, it left it to the spouses as how they should enjoy one another in their sexual relations. From the various forms of pleasing one another, the usage of sex toys, such as vibrators, dildos, lubricants, etc., has become or is becoming a common phenomenon. And Islamically, there is nothing wrong in using such toys, provided the following conditions are met. 1. The toy must not be harmful in any way to the spouses, for inflicting harm upon yourself is unlawful. So that basically takes out canes and, any other torture device. Zappers are out of the question. Damn it. That's all the good stuff are out. 2. The toy must not have an inanimate figure to it. What does that mean?
What does that mean? Animate figure to it. Like, oh yeah, so it shouldn't, it can't have, oh yeah, the toy must not have like an anaconda on it or some, yeah.
Oh yeah. So if you have a sex toy that looks like I don't know, snake or whatever animal or something.
Donkey Kong.
Yeah. So the Donkey Kong part of it is a problem. The dick. What if like dildo looks like a dick? What if a dildo looks like a dick? So no, it has to be like actually not a human dick. It has to look just like a dildo, like without like making it.
Dildos do look.
No. You know what I mean? Like actually like a human dick with all the details that makes it more like it.
With the head at
it. Yeah, exactly. With the veins and the mushroom head and everything. That would look too much. That would be animated.
What about the color of it?
Yeah. Maybe use like a bright pink color or blue color so that it avoids making it like a human dick.
So her husband doesn't feel embarrassed that, oh, hang on, I haven't got that big.
Okay, so that makes sense. 3, it should not be inserted into the inner private part of the woman. Wait, what?
What's the freaking point of that? It's just a vibrator. It's just basically vibrating the clitoris.
What are you talking about? Rather, only such toys should be used that stimulate the outer private parts, such as the clitoris. Wait a minute. Why would you even have a dildo? So you just said up there that dildos are okay, but this number 3 just makes vibrate. Like why? Oh my god.
Yeah, because Armin.
So vibrating.
It comes with terms and conditions, Armin. I told you, Islam is not a sex-positive religion. It's just not. Without even knowing this, I just told you there would be so many stupid terms and conditions, all of them would be from the male perspective. Because if you insert the penis or the dildo, then that would be basically that the dildo is assuming the role of her husband, and her husband is being negated in a way that, okay, I don't need you anymore. I've got this. So a husband has become redundant in this very intimate part of the relationship. Yeah. It is such a man-made religion. Nuria made a very good point, and I looked at it, like the story of Zainab, Muhammad's daughter-in-law. We always looked at it from a male's perspective, that, oh yeah, Muhammad wanted this, Muhammad wanted that. But then Nuria made a point that women do use sex as a tool. Why don't we blame Zainab? But maybe Zainab actually wanted it too, and she also. So a separate story. But I'm just saying, like
that's a separate story.
It's a separate story, but I'm just quickly
saying.
I'm making a point that all of this, everything that we look at, because look at this, all these imams, all these muftis, they're all men. They're looking at it from a male's perspective.
Okay, let's get to the question. Okay, so next it says, if the above conditions are taken care. Wait, hold on. Let me read it from the screen instead. If the above conditions are taken care of, coupled with the permission and consent. Wow, Islam caring about consent. That's a new one. Of the spouse, then there seems no hindrance from employing such toys. Having said that, it must be remembered that it is unlawful to use such toys alone to alleviate one. Yes, so masturbation is wrong, right? To alleviate one's loneliness, etc. For this would be considered a form of masturbation, which is unlawful, haram, and sinful. Therefore, if there is a fear that by using these toys during intercourse with one's spouse, one may be tempted to employ them when alone, then they must be avoided altogether. And Allah knows best.
Allah knows best. I love it how they ended. They give all the answers, and then they say Allah knows best. So why the hell did we
Yes.
ask you? If Allah knows best, then screw you. Go F yourself.
Here's a shorter one and it gets right to the point. Okay, so here's another website that issues fatwas and stuff. Question: is it allowed? It is. This is question wrong. You should say, is it? Is it allowed to use sex instruments in Islam, like penis, vibrators, and other sex instruments for single women and men? Oh, single? Obviously not. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's where they
So.
messed up.
Yeah, they messed up. All perfect praise to perfect. Wow, I've never heard that before. All perfect praise to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Wow, that sounds actually pretty Lord of the Ring like. I testify that there is none worthy of worship except Allah, and that Muhammad is his slave and messenger. According to the Sharia, it is unlawful for the Muslim to use these instruments. Oh, altogether. Wow, this is completely different. Their users are contradicting the correct fitra, natural predisposition upon which Allah created mankind, and going beyond what Allah has made lawful to them. Allah says, and those who guard their chastity, private parts from illegal sexual acts, except from their wives, or their captives and slaves, that their right hand possesses. Well, what happened to consent then? Look, there's no consent. Like, so you could have sex with your slaves. There's no consent. For then they are free from blame. But whoever seeks beyond that, then those are the transgressors. Okay, but this is not a good verse to refer to, because the verse doesn't say what is illegal. It's just like, it's just don't do illegal sexual acts. Okay. Well, can you be more specific, Quran? Like, I don't know, does that include sex toys or not? Doesn't say. So you're referring to a Quranic verse that is not very specific as proof. And then it continues, using such instruments have very bad side effects. Wait, what? On the person using them. No, it doesn't. It makes the person lose interest in the opposite sex. No, actually not if you use them correctly. In fact, you could use them to edge somebody until the point that they beg you to fuck them. So wait, where is he? Okay, lose interest in the opposite sex, and this is against the natural law of the cosmos. Wow, the cosmos doesn't want you to use sex toys, and because wow, I didn't know blame it on the cosmos. Yes, all the galaxies and the black holes, everything. The laws of the physical universe prohibits you from using sex toys. Sure. And it can lead to disaster. Wait, I need a citation for it. How do sex toys could lead to disaster? Yeah, maybe if you don't use like proper lubing. Yeah, true. That's yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
that's not meant by disasters. That's not what it. They're
that's not what they
going.
mean.
Yeah, they're going by. This is Daniel Akikachu line of reasoning. This is going straight from like, oh, if you do this, then you don't need men. You don't need men. That's it. The family system is destroyed. Women become uncontrollable. They're no longer in your control, and that's the end of the society as we know it. That's what they meant by it's going to lead to disasters.
Mm-hmm. Allah says, and He creates the two mates, the male and female, from a sperm drop when it is emitted. Okay, you're right. This is a very male perspective religion, because like, what about, is it just the sperm is just half the equation, sir? The use of vibrators and similar sexual instruments causes defects to the genital parts of their users. Not if you use them correctly. Where is this? Where are you getting? Where's the citation for this? Okay, guys, learn how to educate yourself on the proper use of sex toys, and it doesn't have to cause any defects. What defects? If only if you like shove something too big in your a-hole without lubes.
She's not gonna need a husband. That's what they're
No, is it? No, they're talking about like maybe whoever wrote this, I think they shove a too big of a butt plug in their asshole, and now they're suffering from it. If you want to shove something up there, start small, start proper lubing, okay? Maybe just go half inside, and then like work your way up there. Like don't go all the way in. we advise him or her to apply the Sharia Sharia remedy to sexual desire, that is fasting, lowering the gaze. That's not going to help it. Lowering the gaze is going to make things worse. And abiding by what Allah has prescribed and avoiding what He has forbidden. I think I think either intentionally or unintentionally, they want people to. This whole meme of Islam works in making young people suffer, right? Because you're like constantly, oh my God, I need to get laid. Or like, no, you have to wait and you have to come to Islam for us to give you pussy. Okay, if you want pussy, you have to ask Islam to give it to you. So you make these people crazy, these horny people, like no masturbation, no sex before marriage, like, oh my God, give me pussy. And like, okay, this is the only way, and you have to come submit to Islam for us to give you the pussy. And people are like, okay, just tell me, I'll do anything. Just give it to me. So I think this is a good strategy to just make people submit more to Islam.
It's look, as I said, like it's all from a man's perspective, and it puts men at the forefront of everything. All the consequences that are going to come out of anyone's actions, especially in marriage or interpersonal relationships between men and women, it's always from a man's perspective that, okay, how is it going to impact our men? And I get it. It's not entirely that, because men have to pay a price as well. I think you made a very good point a few streams ago that men also suffer in Islam. But that's not how it was designed to be. In the time of Muhammad, men actually they didn't have to suffer at all. They could have 4 wives. So there was a culture of having multiple wives, if you can afford it. Okay. So if you can afford it, that's fine. I mean, rich man always wins, I guess. But you could also have as many sex slaves as you want. So it was just, if you're horny, you can just go to a slave market and you can pick any slave girl you want, and voila, that's it. You're satisfied. Women always had to pay a price. But now the world has evolved, and now we don't have these slave markets anymore. And in certain other countries, like especially, I think in Iran, I don't know if Iran is big on encouraging, I don't know if the Iranian society encourages polygamy as it does in the Arab countries.
They tried, they failed.
Oh, okay, they failed. So in Pakistan, there's no culture of that. These clerics have been trying to promote it, but it's still frowned upon if you go and have a second wife. So a lot of these men who actually go for a second marriage or a third marriage, they do it in secret. So they're also issuing fatwas that if you do it in secret, then that's haram. So my point is, everything, especially now,
it's allowed by a law, but you can be murdered by your wife while you're sleeping if you want a second wife, right? So it's allowed by the law and by the religion, but do you want to live? Basically, that's how it works.
I don't know. What do you mean? I don't get it.
I mean, I'm saying the Iranian woman is such a like they do not accept.
Okay,
well, yeah, the law allows you, but I have the fear of the Iranian woman is higher than the fear of both Allah and the law. That's what I mean. To have your questions answered on the next live stream, become my patron today. You can do so with as little as $1 a month. Link in the description below.